What's good, America? It's your man, Big Flow, coming to you again with another episode of the Big Flow Show. Um, it's a nice day outside today. It's going to be a swelter this weekend. Don't really know what I'm going to do. We're stuck in that period between the NBA Finals and football. Luckily, they got this little thing called the Olympics that's coming on, so hopefully I'll be able to watch some there. But I need to be entertained. It's going to be too damn hot outside to be thinking about being outside, so I'm going to need some decent TV watching to go along with whatever the heck I do. So anyway, guys, today, I know hopefully you guys caught the last episode. The young man from South Dakota State, the pride of Naperville that I had. If you haven't seen that show, please go watch that show. But I got something next to do. But before that, I got to make a confession, guys. I know this is going to be tough for some of you guys to swallow, but I got to make a confession. I'm fat. I know some of you guys are saying, but you're so sexy. But I just have to admit to you guys, in case you haven't noticed, I'm fat. And I had to admit that to myself. Now, why did I bring up this terrible thing to say that's blasphemy to most of the people listening today? Well, because I know that I'm fat and I've realized I'm fat, I decided I wanted to get a coach. I wanted to get somebody to help hold me accountable, somebody to make sure that I'm doing it the right way, because I always do my same diets and I always do my same workouts and I always do my same thing, and I'm still fat. So I reached out to a gentleman that I'm going to introduce you to pretty soon to start my journey to get more sexy than I already am today. Like to let y'all know I'm already 20 pounds into that, thanks to this young man. Through all the vacations and this, that, and the other that summer brings, I was able to drop my weight. So without further ado, I would like to bring on my friend, Michael Scott. What's up, Mike?
Reg, Big Sexy, what's up, man? How are you?
Big Sexy, man. I'm good, man. But I had to get that off my chest, man. I know people haven't noticed that stuff, but sometimes you just gotta put your demons out there and let them realize what's going on, and that way you get better. The first step to solving a problem is admitting you have one. So I want people to know that. So I know a lot of people are scrambling right now, and Twitter's probably going crazy. People are like, "Oh my God, I never knew Reg was fat," and now I know because he admitted it. So anyway, I just came out with that. So anyway. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm sexy. Everybody knows it. But I do think I need to lose a few weight, so you can see more of the muscles and all the different things. And, I'm getting older, we start doing now, the conversations you have at 48 years old are not like you were at 24 years old. You're still talking about some of the fun things you're doing, and maybe some of the young ladies you met do whatever. Me and my friends talk about the blood pressure medicine and whether it's working. And we talk about our cholesterol numbers, and we talk about things that were such a joke to us before. But I can have a 45-minute interesting conversation about how to address your blood pressure, how to get your cholesterol down, what you have to worry about with blood sugar, things like that. It's boring as hell, but I want to be here long enough to watch more young people grow up and do different things. So anyway, you've helped me out so far. I wanted to have you on the show. I think there's a great message that you can have for some people. Hopefully some of my listeners, probably a couple of you guys are fat too, if we're being honest. Some of you guys need some help, kind of some hurdles. He's a local guy here in Naperville, but he can work with you all over the place, but I'm not going to steal your thunder. So anyway, Michael Scott Fitness. Quickly just tell me kind of what you guys do and what makes you a little different.
Absolutely. Reg, first and foremost, thanks for having me on, man.
Fantastic.
I really appreciate it. And I just want to honor you for how you opened it up. It's not easy to say that stuff out loud, right? We can like awkwardly laugh it off and stuff and whatnot, but this stuff hurts and this stuff is real. And this is real pain that a lot of people in the world are carrying these days, and they don't know where to go. A lot of them are crying out for help. They're willing to do anything. They're buying into all these, pardon my language, they're buying into all these bullshit detoxes and this and these wild guarantees that don't work. They go through this vicious cycle of like, I can't do this. This is me. I suck. Like, I'm not worth it. It's my genes. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like, it breaks my heart to see the misinformation that's out there in today's industry. And that's really what got me doing what I do today. So what is Michael Scott Fitness? We are, or at least our goal is, to be the last fitness coach that you will ever need to hire. And what do we mean by that? We separate ourselves and we say we're different because we're real people helping real people. All the coaches that we have currently on, there's 4 of us. You have someone who was myself, a former special education teacher. You have someone who was an engineer for 15 years prior. We've got a law student who's with us who's incredible. We have someone who actually has been training in person and doing all that for 15 plus years. So we like to say we're real people helping real people. But our big thing is that we want to do it all. We want to be the one-stop shop. Our goal is to make sure you never need to hire another coach again. And how are we going to do that? We're going to deliver an education so well that you can turn around and teach the next person in line everything that we did together and help them get results, right? We're out to do our part to just continue to inspire people to change one heart at a time. We're big believers that you must be what you can be, that God calls us to be great by whatever definition that is. And by us stepping into greatness, we're constantly going to inspire greatness to occur around us. And that truly is how we can change the world. So I see no better way than to really help someone take control of their life, realize their potential, gain that confidence back, that inner peace, that mental clarity, than by going on a health journey and by taking back what it is that you should have under control right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
everybody else, he always has this energy level, and that's part of what makes it fun to do it, because, I think a lot of us go into this. And again, I've been working out forever. I've been working out probably longer than you've been alive, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's hard to get up. It's hard to get the energy to do something that's going to make actually a difference, as opposed to kind of going through the motions. You have this great energy. So let's kind of, for everybody who's paying attention, listen right now, let's talk about it. Like, were you always into fitness? Were you that guy that was, doing push-ups when you were 5 years old, lifting weights, playing all different sports? How'd you get into it? Or let me start. Were you always into fitness?
I'm going to say no. I dabbled with it in high school in terms of I worked out a little bit. I played high school baseball until I was banned from our district's athletics from poor choices that I made as a kid, which I'm sure is all stuff that we'll get into on here, and kind of how like my coaching avenue route is coming along as well. But no, I wasn't always into fitness. Something I tell people all the time is fitness saved my life. It saved my life.
Well, we talk about that, and I think it's interesting because those that know me well know I'm an overthinker. I think about things to a nauseum just to try to. Although he has shown me how to meditate too, to clear my mind. We'll get into that at the end, but I will say I overthink things. I always try to think about it. And typically I think, you find people that have, super fit people or people who are super unfit. There's always something else that's going on. Usually, I shouldn't say always, often there's something else going on. Myself, I like to eat food. I try to get big to play football, and football's over, and it just kind of becomes your thing that you just enjoy the food. And, I start living foul, and I realize my life is foul. I can look in the mirror and tell if my life is foul. If things are going great, I can just correlate it. And it's always going to be something psychological. And if I laid on somebody's couch, they could probably tell me exactly why I'm fat this time versus other times, because I have lost weight before. But talk to me, what life struggles did you go through that kind of led you or pushed you towards fitness?
Losing weight, life struggles. Real quick, before we get into the life struggles, you touched on like losing weight's not the problem, right? And I just want to pound that in real quick so I don't miss this opportunity. Losing weight is not the problem that we have in this country. Keeping it off is, because we don't know how to pursue something that's sustainable and that's something that we can adhere to. I think the statistic is like 80% of the people in this lifetime will lose a significant amount of weight. But the staggering statistic is that like within 2 years, I think 90% of those people are going to go back to their pre-diet weight. And within 3 years, 95% of those people are going to surpass that pre-diet weight. Like, bro, we need to stop for a second, and we need to understand, like, as a collective, how morally defeating that is. That sucks the soul out of someone. If you're someone who's out there and you've tried something and you've had success and you've put it back on, if you're someone out there who's had an addiction and you beat it temporarily and you find yourself back in that same situation, I just want you to know that, like, this is the work I do. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. That stuff's not easy, but you can make it out of it and you can beat that for good. So let me just start there. Life struggles. Is that what you asked, Reg?
Yeah, life struggles. I mean, again, what was your story? What made you tell me? So this guy's got a sweatshirt on, but he's like real sexy and should take his shirt off, look like one of those stripper dudes. But how did you, what pushed you to say, this is who I want to be? Because you weren't a heavy person growing up, were you?
No, not at all. I mean, I think I had like, as a kid, a teen, I mean, just a little bit of a belly. I remember, just as we all do, if we can all recall, there's significant times in our life that will never go away, that maybe someone pointed out something about our body or made us feel a certain way that we'll just never forget it, right? Like for me, one of those times is I can remember in 8th grade, a girl calling me fat who was a friend and sticking her hands on my stomach going, "You got a nice little belly," Like I wasn't.
Are you still friends with her right now?
I'm not. No. And
I bet you she's fat.
and
I bet you she's fat. I'm telling you, hurt people.
Like that's with me, but I never grew up obese, so to say.
Yeah.
My life struggles came with when I was in 8th grade. My best friend at the time, someone who really it was a second family to me. This was the house. I'm just going to keep it real on the podcast. This was the house and the best friend that you could walk into, raid their pantry, go to the bathroom before you even say hello to anyone. Like it was just like second home, you know. In eighth grade, he had an older sister who was a senior in high school who was raped and murdered one day on a run after school, Prairie Path. And that just, you can hear it in my voice as I have to say it, like that fucked me up. And it didn't really hit me until sophomore year in high school. And that's when I started exploring with just drugs. I didn't like the way I felt. I felt like I wasn't connected to myself. It was just constantly searching for a feeling. I mean, my mindset, my perspective towards the world was like, this is a shitty place. It's full of bad people. Like, it's just, there was no good for me. So I went down the hole of drugs. I mean, the first time I tried cocaine, I was 16 years old in the back of Portillo's on the clock. Same thing with Xanax, same thing with, you know, so I started all that stuff at a really young age, and I pounded away with that for years in my late teens. I did not take care of myself. I did not love myself. Therefore, and I'm a big believer, you can't give what you don't have. I didn't love myself. I didn't know how to. I couldn't love other people. I was a dick. I hated who I was. I would never befriend the guy that I used to be. He was hurt. He carried a lot of shame, a lot of trauma, a lot of just guilt. And he didn't know how to work through that. He didn't know how to heal that. And the gym and fitness for me was something that I had a buddy who was really constantly just always talking me up. I'm a bigger dude. I'm 6'3". I mean, right now at the time we're filming this, I'm like 210, 215, but I was 6'3" in college, and we could pull up a picture. Like, I was 155. You could see my rib cage. Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I was doing cocaine by myself at 7 in the mornings on some days. And something had to change. Something had to change. I had a few moments, a few epiphanies in this life that, like, I wanted to be done. And one of those was when I had to spend about 65 hours in county at 19 years old and had to share a cell with a sex offender who, in my opinion, from my past, right, was the biggest devil, the biggest monster on earth. And I had to sit there and I had to process for years. This is what really broke me down. Am I as bad as this person?
Yeah, here we are in the same place. Yeah, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. They put us in the same cell. I can see. I haven't been there, but I can understand the mental kind of mental fuck that puts you through. Like, damn, I'm in the same spot as a dude who I think is a piece of shit. And now here I am.
And just to clarify too, like I was in there it wasn't my first arrest. Like there was multiple of those, but like at that time I was in there for fake ID stuff. And yeah, when you have to sit there and you have to look yourself and wake up in the mirror every morning and ask, am I a monster? Because they put me on the same level as him. It fucked me up for years. And it took me pursuing life coaching with other people, coaching with spiritual guides. Dude, I'm 25 years old right now. I've spent almost $30,000 on coaching, on life coaching. It's more than a down payment that I put on my house. But I can tell you flat out right now, what those men and what those women have been able to do for me, I underpaid. They changed my life in ways that I would have never imagined were even possible. And it's put me in the position I'm in today. And it's set a fire in me to go do that same thing for other people, to show people that, hey, I know what it's like to feel like when you're down, when you're kicked down, when you feel like there is nowhere to go. I'm telling you, there's hope, and I want to show you. So,
you know, it's amazing. Are you really just 25 years old?
Yeah, I just turned 25 last month. It doesn't feel like it, man. All my friends.
Here's the crazy. I've known you for 3 years.
Yeah.
You were already a college or high school teacher when I met you.
Yep.
You had a chance to do all this fucking up. You had a chance to clean it up. But you've always been the dude since I met you. For the 3 years I've known you, you've been this guy. So I'm like, I don't know where all the years went. Like, did you graduate high school early or something? Like, what's going on?
Well, I actually did graduate high school early. But yeah, that's funny. And that's something that people say all the time is, I get all the time, you're such a confident person. You're such a happy, optimistic person. You're such an encourager. How do you do it? It wasn't always this way. It wasn't always this way. Guys, I had years of hating who I was. I hated who I saw in the mirror. I was ashamed of him. Like, but it can get better. It can change.
So let me say this. So you go in there, and again, I want to let you guys hear the passion. I want you to hear the story, because sometimes, you know, to understand, like, okay, fine. A lot of people think of people who are in shape as just guys, people who are just always in shape. And it's like a model telling you how to be pretty. It's like, well, shit, you were born pretty. You know what I mean? You do whatever. But, you know, a lot of people need to understand that there's some struggle too, because everybody who's listening, who's thinking about calling you later, who's thinking about doing different things, is thinking right now, why am I the way I am right now? What changed? What happened? You know, most of us are born with a decent level of fitness, right? Sometimes genetically, some people are big, but most of us look back. I mean, I'm 6'4". I weigh none of your business. But I used to weigh 165 at this same height when I was like in 7th grade, right? So I was a skinny dude, right? So I got to be big and did whatever. Some of it was, intentionally, and then some of it kind of gets out of control. But everyone's thinking about it. So that's why I wanted you guys to kind of hear some of the struggles that he's gone through. But like, what do you think was the last step that changed you? Because I know what happens with me. And I've lost weight a bunch of times in my life, and I know I can do it. Part of the reason why I think I get fat is because I feel like I can just take it over whenever I want to, and I'm like, I'll just be fat for another week or two, and then I'm just gonna boom. But something will disgust me. Either I'll have to go put some good clothes on, and I can't find anything that fits right, or usually it's a picture, and I'll see a picture of myself, and I'll feel so bad about looking at the picture that I feel like whoever took it was doing it to mock me. And in their mind, they're just taking a picture of their friend Reggie. And I'm like, they're trying to mock me. I can't believe it. And then it focuses me and it bothers me. I let it bother me more and more and more to stay focused and do whatever. What was it with you? Because it was different for you. You weren't like this super big guy. You had to drop the drugs. You had to drop the crime. You had to do whatever. What was it? The last straw? Was it being in the cell with the pedophile, or was it something else that just kind of clicked and that was moving forward?
Yeah. So, man, I'm gonna share a story that I've never really shared with anyone. The morning that last arrest had happened, where I had to eventually spend a weekend in county, I remember being walked in, fingerprinted, the mugshots and all that, and I remember them rolling up in a ball, throwing me a jumpsuit, and it was like, put it on. And I remember looking in this room with 20, 25 men, scary looking dudes. I'm just going to put it out there, pointing at me, all talking about me. I shit my pants.
Hey, not a good time to be pretty, boy.
Yeah. So I was called Robin Thicke, I was called Robin Thicke all weekend long by everyone. I was Robin Thicke around. Hey, you seen Robin Thicke? You seen Robin Thicke? Keep your head down. I was approached by numerous people because I was one of the only people that could do math and do simple addition in there. Bitch, do my commissaries. Okay, here, what do you need to know? Let me add it up. 25 cents, 35 cents, 10 cents. Great, look at this, 80 cents. Like, there you go. Bitch, do my commissaries. Like, these are the stories that people don't know about me.
Yeah.
So, and it, I don't want to say I get triggered, but man, I get frustrated sometimes when people just see me as like some confident dude who has it all and everything's all like, he's got all his ducks in a row. It wasn't always this way. There was a ton of struggle. There was a ton of inner work I had to do. There was a ton of money I invested myself, time, energy, tons of therapy, tons of tears, tons of journaling. Like, this doesn't just happen by flipping a switch and going, I made it, and you hit on something great with like the losing the weight and going back. I wrote it down and made a comment. People treat weight loss and all that as a destination versus a journey, right? It's never ending. We think that when we get there,
you're never cured.
And that we
You're
can
never cured. Yeah.
go back to what we were doing. That's not the case. It's constantly evolving. You're constantly going to have to do more. Something I learned from people like Andy Frisella is that like your best is a sliding scale. What you did last month, what you said was your best last month, that was your best last month. That's not your best now. You need to be reaching for new heights constantly. You need to be striving. People need to realize this. There's people that operate at their best for 25 years consecutively. That's not your best. That was your best 25 years ago. Do something else, right?
Yeah, you're right about that, and I have a conversation. So, I got some friends that
real quick. Let me just jump in. So with the like what really changed, I think everyone has or should have a dark place. Like they should have a deep pain. They should have a deep why that fuels them. For me, I can close my eyes. I'm back in county for the weekend, and I'm scared shitless, thinking that I can't defend myself against anyone. That's what drives me. When I'm in the gym and I'm trying to get that last rep and I'm approaching that last set, I go back to that time in my life where I was looking into that room with everyone pointing at me, where I was scared shitless, and I turned and requested solitary confinement for the first day. And I remember seeing on the walls, John 3:16, God hates us all, hell in a cell. Like, dude, these are images and moments that I'll never be able to get out of my mind. But I'm so thankful for them because I really do believe life happens for us, not to us. And those experiences, those moments and all that, they happened for me. They gave me the perspective. They gave me the drive and the fuel to put myself in the position that I'm in today, to continue to serve people and share my story and be open about it and to not carry shame around it. And just know that, like, yeah, that's my past. It happened. We all have a past. And the quicker that you can own your past, something I learned from a guy named Traver Boehm, who wrote a book called Man Uncivilized. You should definitely check it out if you're a brother out there. Is that your deepest, your greatest gifts grow in the garden, or your deepest wounds grow in the garden of Your deepest gifts grow in the garden of your wounds, I think. Something like that. But just basically like your story, like everything that your power is in your pain. You just have to go there and you have to find it and you have to own it and you have to be able to sit with it, you know? So it's a lot, but go ahead.
No, I think that you know, it's good that, again, you keep growing, right? You keep the theme here, you keep growing, you keep trying to grow. And I feel like the more you grow and the more you know, Coach Holtz used to say, every day you get better, you get worse. You can't stay the same, right? Because even if you think you stay the same, that's really worse. So at the end of the day, I like your approaches that you're saying, like you keep, you know, to a guy like me or somebody else, it look like you've achieved what you need to achieve. But to yourself, you're like, no, I guess it's got to be better. It's got to be better. I got to drive harder. I've got a friend, Kevin Casper, who I'll have on the show at some point that you may know, who's a fitness monster. And he just won't stop. He's always behind. He's always trying to kill himself more and more and more and more. And it's like, this dude is like improving and he's in his 40s. You know what I mean? But you had to do it. But when it comes to like weight loss and different things, you're right. People are like, all right, if I can just get to this weight, and I'm guilty. If I can just get to this weight, I'll be good. Nope, you got to get to that weight. That's not just your start. That's the start of being in fitness. You know, it's a lifelong struggle, and that's why people keep yo-yoing, because they keep thinking, eventually, I like to do the things that made me fat. I do. I like to eat horrible food. I like fried food. I like drinking alcohol. I love sweets. I love all that stuff. It's fantastic. It's pleasure. But if I keep giving myself that, then I'm going to lose what I like the most, which is life, right? So you have to keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting. And there's going to be steps to forward and back. So on your journey personally, because again, I want these people to realize that you're human. Did you just click a switch and then boom, you hit the gym, you start getting fit, you did everything right, everything, whatever? Or did you how long did it take you to get to the point? So I've only known this guy. I didn't know the other guy, although you were just, to me, you were just born last week, but like, you were born when I graduated college. It's starting to get goofy, your age. But like, I've only known this dude, right? So I don't know if there's been some missteps in there. You've hit it if it could. But do you feel like it took you like 6 months, a year? How long did it take you to kind of transform to the point where you've only been moving forward? Or do you feel like you're only been moving forward and you've maybe taken some back steps even now?
Are we talking specifically like physical fitness, or are we talking mind, body, spirit, just overall growth?
Let's break it down. Because, you know, I think it's important to realize sometimes one thing is clean and the other thing is dirty.
So, yeah, I just put a post out on Instagram the other day about this. And this is something I think that people need to they need to hear and they need to realize. Mm-hmm. Mind, body, spirit, right? Mm-hmm. It's not body, mind, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. Don't get it twisted. There's levels to this. And we see a lot of people out there obsessing over changing the body, completely neglecting the mind, doing nothing about it, right? Mm-hmm. It has to start here. It's one of the reasons why I think, like, when we're on discovery calls with clients and we screen people hard, we don't just take anyone with money going, here, we want to work with you. No. Like, you have to be ready. We have to make sure we're a good fit. And that's something else I see out there too. Like, if you're going to go out there and hire a coach, make sure you're a good fit with them. These are the people who are going to be picking you up on your worst days, who are going to be your cheerleader, who are going to be the people you can go for when you're struggling. Make sure you can connect with them, because the smartest people in the world who know all the knowledge sometimes aren't the best at connecting with people. And that's really what this work is about. I'm not the smartest nutrition coach out there. I'll flat out come out and say it. But I'll put myself out there as one of the best people who can connect with people, who can build people. I tell people all the time, I feel like I have a superpower, and mine is I can speak courage into anybody and to get them to believe in themselves in a matter of a month, no matter where they're at. But backtrack. I tell people up front, with the mind thing, it doesn't matter if you're working with myself or if you're working with Tony Robbins. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe that this can actually work, that you can actually have success here with us together, that you can actually achieve the transformation that you say you're after and you say you want, and you say you're a 10, that you're committed to doing whatever it takes to get there, it doesn't matter if it's myself or Tony Robbins. If you don't believe in yourself, it's not happening. Everything's going to follow this. This has to be sharp. This has to be in check first, you know? It's one of the things I like to say is you'll get what you expect. And that's a fact. You will get what you expect. The deepest thoughts, desires, whatever expectations you have in your heart of hearts, that's what you're getting. So is that clear? Is that pure? Is that what you want it to be? Because if not, we need to take a step back and we need to correct, and we need to work on that first. But
so that's it. Have on your path, was it the cha-cha, 2 steps forward, 1 step back? I think that's the cha-cha. They don't do that anymore. You young fellas don't do the cha-cha no more. But back in the day, they did the cha-cha.
Yeah.
But is it 2 step forward, 1 step back, or when you clicked, have you been going forward ever since?
Man, I'm always and often taking steps back, not intentionally.
I get it.
But I have the awareness, and I'm very real with myself. I think we have to be real with ourselves. It's tough. I fail all the time. I fail all the time. And I want people to know that, because, again, they look at me as someone who markets themselves as a life and fitness coach. Like, oh, he must have it all. He's perfect. He doesn't have these days. No, actually, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, to be honest with you, as the business continues to grow, and we're having our best month ever right now, and I've been traveling so much in the last 2 months, there's mornings I wake up sometimes and it's hard to catch my breath. Like, it happens. Guys, we're all human. Now, I've spent a lot of time working on strategies, techniques, tools that I have in my toolbox that I can pull out to help me ground myself, to help me kind of center myself, to help me kind of realign myself. There's a lot of different things that I've worked on that I can now utilize and deploy, honestly, at any given time. Like, staples for me is like a morning 10-minute meditation right out of bed. If I can, a meditation like halfway.
Difficulties, I got prepaid internet. I think something. I don't know what's going on. My bad.
Good. Yeah, no, but I mean, I at this point in my journey, I've spent so much time putting the reps in and practicing these different tools, these strategies, these techniques, breath works, meditation, visualization, journalization. Gratitude is one of the biggest ones. Like, I tell people all the time, gratitude is a verb. It's like taking a shower. You need to be doing it every single day. You need to be expressing gratitude every single day. Whether that's a verbal, I think something I learned from, was that David Nurse out loud, was like, just in the mornings, like whenever it comes to my mind, I'm very big on like a thank you, just in my house by myself out loud in the morning. It has to be. If I forget, maybe I'm in my car. Thank you. Like, it sounds so stupid and trivial to people, but you have to ask yourself this question. Have you ever met a truly happy person, a joyous person who's ungrateful? The answer is no. It doesn't exist. All those people are incredibly grateful. Gratitude is a big part of their life. They're constantly looking at the plus side of things. They're constantly going, damn, at least I have functional limbs today. Wow, I have a car to get me from where it is to want to go. Wow, I got a roof over my head. Wow, I have resources to buy food and to support myself and my family. It's the little things that people will say is trivial and that's stupid and F this, blah, blah. It changes everything for people. You really can rewire what's going on in here, but you have to put the time and the reps in. So to answer your question, to go back to tie everything up, I spent so much time focusing on my body, thinking that I was getting better, and I was getting better. And I think I was. I think I was growing more disciplined. I was just exercising my commitment, my determination. But like, I don't know if I was really progressing as a man. I don't know if I was really progressing as a human. Like, dude, nobody's gonna give a shit like and talk about you when you die. Like, oh, they had an amazing 6-pack, right?
They might. That's all that they got for you. Maybe that's it. They might talk about that.
People. I want to be of service. I want to be remembered as someone who's like, I don't know how that dude kept going and kept serving people, but he did, and he found a way to do it, and he was really good at it. Like, that's the legacy I'm after. I don't care about all this. I care about it, but it's not my priority. You know what I'm saying? It's not who I am. It's not what I identify with. But as soon as I started shifting and focusing on the mind and the spirit, hiring life coaches, hiring spiritual guides, investing in myself, like, I'm a big believer, like, you have to give in order to make room to receive. Like, who are we to walk around and carry all this stuff like forever? You got to invest in yourself. You have to put the time, you have to put the reps in. That's where everything changes. As soon as you start to focus up here and in here and connect this together, game over.
No doubt. So, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but how do you take that with your approach to your customers and your clients? So you've convinced me. You convinced me before, but you've convinced the listeners now that, hey, you're human. You weren't always this fitness guy. You weren't always a guy who had his stuff together. I mean, you're 25 years old. You got a nice house right now. You weren't just born with a silver spoon. You've worked your butt to get where you're at. But how do you take those previous life experiences into the thing? Because I've never been to jail and I've never been addicted to drugs, but I have other problems. How do you try to find a way to take that and relate? I've actually seen you do it, but I'd like you to tell everybody else.
Go ahead. Can you ask that one more time?
How do you take your life experiences, all the hiccups you made, where you've fallen and you've had to get back up, and take that into your client's approach and how you work with people? So some people, again, not everybody had the same struggle you did as far as drugs and criminal background. Maybe they've had, death. Maybe everyone has their thing. They have their story. But how do you take your past and help that on how you approach people when you try to help them out. A new person right now, you sit down, my name is Joe Smo, and this is my story, and this is what I go do. You know, do you just tell them your story? Do you, how does it approach how you take on a new customer? Yeah. Or maybe I'm asking the question too difficultly. Like when you take on a new customer and you're evaluating somebody, what do you look for? What do you talk about? Let's start from that angle.
I'm looking for someone who is committed. And I can tell, dude, within 12 minutes of a call, like who's about it and who's not. And it's funny, and I'm gonna give away a little secret right here for anyone that's watching that's maybe interested in working with myself or one of our coaches. On our application, we have a question like on a scale of 1 through 10, like how bad do you want this? How much does this mean to you? Anyone that puts a 9 or below, we don't even get on the call with them. We send them back the same copy pasted email. Hey, we're really sorry, but like this is not only a financial investment, but this is an energy investment. And like we get such great results with people because we screen people and we only work with those 10s. If I was out there trying to work with everyone and trying to please everyone, my track record wouldn't be as good as it is right now. I work with people who I deem are ready. I work with people who I deem are experiencing such extreme pain. They have the awareness about their why, and it's deep enough. And I feel that can fuel them all the way to success with whatever that looks like for them. Does that answer your question? Can you ask a question and follow that up? I don't know if I did a good job there.
No, I hear it. I get your dedication there. I guess what I was trying to find out is, because you've been through some stuff, how does that approach how you help other people who've been through some stuff?
I'm looking for pain on those calls. I would say probably 80% of the people that get on a discovery call with us cry. There's tears, and I love that. And like, I honor that. And like those calls that we bring people on, that's a safe space. Like that is a sacred space for you to fully express yourself, to be like fully authentic, and to share where you're really at, because this work requires honesty. It requires transparency in order for us to be successful and be effective together. But I need to know what the pain is. I need to know why we're doing this. See, the people that come on and want to lose 15, 20 pounds, great. Why? A lot of them don't have reasons, or it's a really shallow reason. Oh, I want to feel better. I want to do this. No, my husband or my wife doesn't look at me the same that they did when we got married, and our sexual attraction, it's completely gone. Like our sex life is gone. I feel like I'm setting a horrible example for my children, and it's starting to haunt me that I can't be the strong, independent, healthy mom for them. Like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that deep why. Why is it that you want to do this? Oh, you're tired of having low energy. Great. But like, how's that low energy affecting your life? Oh, you can't show up for your family at dinner time because you're so effing wiped from your day. And that's haunting you because that's the precious time. It's the only time that you get with them, and you're not getting everything you can out of it. Like I tell a lot of people, everyone is so stuck in their way. Hydration is a great point to just kind of bring up right now. You could have 1 bottle of water a day and you're not going to die, right? Now, we know that you'd be chronically dehydrated over time, but it's not going to kill you. And a lot of people are living a life that's just like, they're not taking care of themselves at all. They're not giving themselves what their body needs. And they think that how they feel, their energy levels, their mental clarity, their sleep, all that on a daily basis, they think that's how everyone else in the world feels. Must be with age. Oh gosh, this is what turning 30 is like. Oh, you know what being in your 40s are like? Dude, shut up. You should not be feeling like shit just because you're in your 30s or 40s. Let me repeat that. You should not be feeling like shit just because you're in your 30s or 40s. That's not a valid reason. There is things we can do to address that and get you.
Now, people are going to have a hard time hearing that from a 25-year-old. I'm just going to tell you that. They're going to be like, man, wait till you get these birthdays. Those candles. I'm sure I always figure that it's the candles. It's all that candlelight makes you feel bad. But no, you get older and you start thinking, man, I remember I could do this. I remember do that. But I will say that there's times you're like, man, I feel a lot better now than I did 5 years ago. So it's some BS. I just say when you tell people that when you're 25, people will be like, man, okay.
I understand. If anyone wants to follow that conversation up, shoot me an email, Michael Scott at Michael Scott Fitness. Let's chat it up. But I want to seriously though, like how you're feeling right now. I just want you to know out there, if you're watching this, there's a higher quality of life out there, and it's available to you, and you can access that 100%.
That's big. So let's switch. What are the biggest hurdles you think that people have to get over in order to to make the change? I don't want to say achieve fitness because, as we said, that you never really achieve it. You just get closer to it. But like, what are the biggest hurdles you think for people to make the life change?
I think people avoid the mirror too much.
Mm-hmm.
And
literally and figuratively, or
yeah. I think about the people. Reg, I'm gonna ask you. I mean, when we started, I mean, even for the last few years of your life with where you're at, do you enjoy looking in the mirror?
You know, it gets to be, everything gets to be relative, right? So like, I don't look at myself and compare myself to you, right? Because I'm bigger than you. So I have sexy days and non-sexy days, right? So I'm a big dude. I've accepted that. I do know that I can get to be a smaller, fitter version, but I'm always going to be like a bigger dude. So I'm comfortable in myself. You know, I have a good sense of humor. And so I'm real about who I am and what I am. I'm not an underwear model yet, but so it doesn't bother me to the extent all the time. But, you know, sometimes I look and I'm like, fuck. Again, really, it's not the mirror, it's the pictures. I think pictures are worse than mirrors. When you look at a picture of yourself and you're like, fuck, I look terrible in this shit. Like, I didn't suck this in. I stood the wrong angle. When you look in the mirror, I think some people look in the mirror and they can't stand what they see. I'm one of those dudes that's the opposite. I'm like, I'm still kind of sexy because like I give myself so much of the benefit of the doubt when I look at it. I'm like, okay, it's a muscle. Okay, it's a vein on my forearm. That's almost an ab. Like, you know what I mean? Like I tell myself, that's damn near ab. It ain't that bad. I walk by a mirror and I look and I'm like, okay, my stomach ain't really fat past my chest. So if I get my chest bigger, I could just be straight. But, you know, you tell yourself all these different things. But pictures are mean because you look at that and you're thinking, damn. And then I start thinking about, I'll look in a picture and I like, you know, your eyes, I always say trick you because I'll look at somebody. I remember one time I worked with a guy. He's since passed away, God rest his soul. And I remember thinking, this dude is huge, right? And I didn't see him for a long time. And then I saw him again. And I'm like, damn, you lost a lot of weight. He said, no, I didn't lose any weight. I said, no, dude, you were way bigger before. He said, man, I've been the same weight for like 4 or 5 years. What it was is I had gained a lot of weight. And your eyes, somehow there's in your processor, your eyes can see the relative size of somebody. Even though when you're looking forward, it's like the video game. You can't see yourself next to the person. But if I walk up to you, if I drop down 100 pounds and I saw you, you would look different to me than you look today, even though I can't see me when I see you. And it's like a phenomenon I've always been thinking about with people. But, you know, when you look at a picture of yourself and you finally get to take a step back out of your body and look and be like, man, I'm so much bigger than all those people. I wonder what they're thinking the whole time they're like, that's the part where it will mess you up. That's the part of it that's like, I look like a sideshow. Like, I wonder what people say when I walk down the street. I'm fucking huge, you know? I don't, but when I'm sitting back there, sometimes I just don't notice as much. So I kind of got deep into that. But the bottom line is,
I love that, dude. Like people need to hear this real stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the pictures that'll kill you.
Yeah, dude, and you have thousands of people out there that are gonna watch this, and that's gonna land. Like out of everything in this, they're gonna be able to for that. And like,
one funny thing I got to bring up. So I got a buddy, Jeff Kilberg. He went to the same high school that you taught at back at Maine South. You might have known his nephew Kilberg over there, and so he's a recovering fat guy now. So he thinks he's got all the jokes, right? So he's like one of those dudes that betrays the craft, and he tells the fat thing. So what fat people do in pictures is we take a step back. We try to make it look like we're there, but we take a little step back to pan away because you look huge. You never want to be the front middle dude. You don't want to be the edge dude because now you get the side thing and you look way bigger. So you take a step back. So I've mastered the technique. I thought I mastered the technique. You wouldn't notice it if I did it in a picture because I just take a little bit of step back and just pan back. This son of a gun will go on Facebook and be like, dude, you are practically standing in a different room. You're so far back. He calls me out every time I do it. I'm like, you son of a bitch. But like, we do little things to trick everybody, try to trick ourselves, trick people with the picture. But Jeff Kilberg, you're a jerk. I just want you to know that.
Man, I would be really curious to know. And it would take a lot of vulnerable people, but like, I'm curious how many other people feel that exact way.
Yeah, we got tricks.
Yeah, I've never really heard of like that be explained like that, but I mean, it totally makes sense. And again, that's the stuff that like people ask me why I do this work. Like that breaks my heart. We shouldn't. We
hide from who you are.
We were not born to be put on the earth to hide who we are, to back up in pictures, to like, you know, like so. But we can do something about it, and you are doing something about it, brother. And you should be proud of the self for all the progress that you've made already, and you're just getting started. But going back to the mirror thing really quick, yeah, Pictures are definitely the hardest. And for anyone out there who's starting a journey, take the fucking picture. Let me say it again. Take the fucking picture. I don't know if the journey can really, really, really start until you have that moment of going, shit.
Yeah.
This is me. I put myself here. Dude, it's painful. And it should be painful. And know that when you take that picture, you are never going back there. Right? One of the things we're about to do, and I don't know when this episode is going to be released, but it's just about to happen. My mom is one of the biggest reasons I do what I do. I should have talked to her before about what I like want to reveal and whatnot. But I just remember growing up, I come from a family that there was obese people within the family. I mean, to the point where some people are riding around could be riding around on electric scooters around Walmart and stuff like that. And you see the projection that comes from these people. Oh, this skinny, whatever. Oh, this fit the person, this, or oh, this. It really just comes down from a place of like, they struggle to love themselves. They look in the mirror and they're not proud of what they see. They don't really love what they see. And again, you can't give what you don't have. If you don't know how to love yourself, how can you love other people to the best of your ability? So the mirror thing for me, going back to that, it's more of a tool like that I will tell clients every night when you brush your teeth. I hope you're brushing your teeth every night out there if anyone's watching this. But
you got bigger issues than your weight if you're going to sleep
you're nasty
with the yuck mouth.
But as you're brushing your teeth, you should be able to look in that mirror every single night, look yourself in the eyes and go, damn, I got it done today. Damn. I did everything that I possibly could today to move myself closer, to get better. I did everything. Like, I didn't leave one stone unturned, you know? And we know when we're lying to ourselves, right? Like, we know when we're not telling the truth. You should be able to look yourself in the mirror every night and do that. And if you're not, we got to start there. We got to start with acknowledging that, like, you're not managing everything you can. You're not doing the best that you can. You're not like turning over every stone. And we have to start there before we can go, well, why am I not making progress? Well, why is this not happening? Dude, you can't even look in the mirror every night and confidently tell yourself that you're doing the damn work. Like,
I'll tell you what, it's funny. I'm going to share a story with you. It's funny. So I'm in the process now where it's like, okay, my days aren't perfect, but I can't have complete L's, right? My eating's got to be right. My workout's got to be right. My water's got to be right. On your app, you click those little things or whatever. And I keep those mental things. I don't click it all the time, but I'm not mental. I kick it. But so yesterday I had a really long day, different things. And I had to drive my daughter to work out, of all places, right? And so I was wearing like a shirt and shorts that were workoutable, probably something I would have used more of a social clothing than to work out. And I had on like slides and some socks. And I'm like, all right, man, I just dropped my daughter off to work out. She's been at camp all day. Now she's only 14 years old. So she's got energy. But I'm like, I'm about to take an L today. I'm not going to walk. I tried to do a quick walk before I walk. I drove her real quick, but that wasn't enough. So literally, like, I drove from dropping her off. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought some gym shoes and I went to the gym across the street to get a workout in because I didn't want to brush my teeth and tell myself, man, I didn't do what I was supposed to do this. You know what I mean? I didn't get this thing done. And that's kind of where I'm at now, where it's like, I got to do something. I've had a lot of things that have given me excuses where I've been on vacation. On vacation, I work out quite a bit, but like, I'll be someplace where I just don't have control of my schedule. And I'm like, damn, I've gone the whole day and I haven't been able to do anything. And you have to get to the point where it's like, it's almost like taking your medicine. Like, I gotta get a workout. I got to do something. I can't take a complete L. I didn't eat great. I didn't eat perfect yesterday, so I ate less. I had a meal I shouldn't have had, so I didn't eat later. I didn't eat dinner. It's like I'm trying to keep fighting and just I'm swinging. You know what I mean? I'm in the fight. I'm trying to stay in the fight and do whatever, just so when I can focus for long stretches, I can focus and really make progress, and then things don't go too bad when I have to slip. Things aren't too bad. So
yeah,
anyway.
and you said it right when we started the podcast. In the matter of the first 10 minutes, you talked about how like, there's no maintaining. There is no maintaining in this life. And I tell my clients that all the time. And I got that from a book called Slight Edge, written by Jeff Olson, Changed My Life. We actually have 12 like ethos, which is just like kind of guides who we want to be as a company, as a brand, MSF. And our third ethos is like utilize Big Mo. utilize Big Mo. And that's something they say in Slight Edge, and what they're referring to is momentum. Like, you have to build momentum, and you have to make momentum your friend. You have to keep momentum on your side. It's that stopping and that starting that keeps people from really making that progress that they want to make. And until you can just realize that, like, you only can get better every day, or you can get worse. Life is a curve. You're going up or you're going down. If you're going to put your head on your pillow at night and you're going to go, I didn't get better today, but I think I maintained. You're full of shit. I'm part of my language, but you're full of shit. Like, that's just not how it goes. If you can't confidently say you got better today, let me tell you something, my friend. You got worse and you took a step back. But guess what? Tomorrow you have a fresh opportunity. Get your ass back on the horse and let's go.
Yeah, that's good. Well, everybody, I think I want to let the back and forth go a little bit, because I think that part of these conversations you can look at and say, I resemble that, or I hear that, or I've been through that, and I've said it. And I'm always honest with people. So I think that, a lot of my friends, I'm here to talk to you about your problems and all the different things like that, because I can relate. I got plenty of problems of my own too. So, I'm an open book. I've never really tried to hide from those kind of things. Some of the stories I tell you, some of the fat tricks that we do, I think a lot of people look at that and probably laughing because they think that they've done some similar things. I know a lot of women do a lot of crazy elaborate makeup to keep your eyes up, so you're not looking at their hips and different things like that. We all see it, and that's the part. It's like a comb over. Like, we all know you're going bald, right? Why are you doing it? Let it go. And I think that at the same time, it's like we try to trick people. It's like, all right, I'm not gonna, trick someone. I used to work with a guy that would always wear a sport coat, and he was heavy, and I'm like, I think he thinks that he's tricking us, that we don't notice that he's fat because he wears a sport coat all the time. It's hot as hell. He's always wearing it. He thinks he's covering up, but I do the same thing. I'll wear something over my shirt so that I have to see my weight. We do things like that. As opposed to just fixing the problem, we try to hide it. We try to disguise it, but you're not tricking anybody. And I realize you're not tricking anybody, but it helps you get through the day. So I'm going to roll out. I want these guys. How do they get a hold of you? How do they start to work with you? What's the first step?
10 seconds before I go into that, what you just said, a lot of the people I work with, and I know people out there will be able to relate to this, and I want them to hear this. A lot of the people that I work with, they have so much shame about the current situation that they're in that they don't even want to go walk around their block. Going into a gym, yeah, right? No, like, I know that with a lot of the people that I work with, that's where they're at. So we meet them where they're at, and I just want people to know out there, like, a better quality of life is out there for you, and it's available to you, and you deserve that, and you're worthy of that. And I want to see that for you. Don't give up. Like, there is always hope. So leaving with that, how can they get a hold of me? So you can contact me, follow me on Instagram at @MichaelScott_fitness, MichaelScott_fitness. You can send me an email at michaelscott@michaelscottfitness.com. And you can also see my website at www.michaelscottfitness.com. Anything that we can ever do for you, we offer the opportunity. We get on free calls with people all the time for 45 minutes to an hour. We call them discovery calls. They're not sales calls. We have never, and we will never ask for a credit card or anything over the phone. Those calls are simply to kind of assess where you're at, what your goals are, what you're willing to do to achieve your goals, determine how ready you are, and really ultimately to determine that if we would even be a good fit. If it is, and it's something you're interested in moving forward with, awesome, let's have the conversation. But regardless of where you go, just know that I'm cheering for you. Whatever you think is not possible, it's possible. You just got to put the work in, and you got to remember, like, there's no maintaining. You have to get better every single day. You have to be able to look in that mirror at night. So, Reg, thanks for having me on, man. This was a
one thing I will say. I wanted to comment to you. You made the one comment about people not wanting to go into a gym, and I'll say this: the fattest, weakest, skinniest, biggest, whatever you want to say, EST at the end, people that are in the gym, everyone who's in that gym looks at you and they're like, "That's awesome."
Bro,
you think that you're embarrassed to be there? People are like, man, I'm so proud this person's in here busting their ass they're trying, because everybody's in there trying. There's a couple people in there that have, they're super fit and nobody cares, right? They do all those things. But when I see somebody who's humongous in there and they're trying to do something, or somebody who's super skinny trying to put 5 pounds on each side, I like you more than everybody else, man, because you're out here trying. I think you're the greatest. So that's just my thought.
that's one thing I've been trying to work on too. Is I've always been someone where it's like the gym is my time to just work, focus on me, to work on me. And like I was someone in the past where I feel like I had a very serious look in the gym, a very unapproachable look, and I've been really working hard on trying to change that over the last year and a half, because I want to be one of those people that people can deem approachable and go up and ask something to if they need help. If you need help with form, how much. I don't know. I don't care. But just know that, like exactly what Reggie just said, I don't care about all the fit people in the gym. When I see the people who are doing the work to get themselves back, like in control, it fires me up more than anything else. Like the people in the gym are cheering for you. Yeah. You need to know that. Like the narrative that you're creating in your head about everyone's looking at me and I'm.
They are, but they're looking at you positively. They're looking at you like, hell yeah, this dude is in here working.
Like, you are awesome. I hope you win. Like, let me know if I can do anything for you. So, Reg, that's such a great point. Thanks for adding that.
That's good. But anyway, appreciate you, what you're doing to help me. Appreciate you coming on the show. I hope everybody, anyone who's out there that could use some help, uses them. I definitely vouch for him. Great guy to work with. It's been wonderful. So everybody, thanks. We out.